So I've been banking with a few different banks and credit unions for quite a few years now, but there's this one bank in particular called SoFi that recently got my attention. Now this bank is a little different from the banks and credit unions that I normally bank with due to the fact that SoFi is actually an online bank and there's not really any physical branches anywhere. But not gonna lie though, one of the biggest things that got my attention towards SoFi so that way I can start banking with them is their high yield savings account. And for those out there that do not know what a high yield savings account is, it's pretty much a type of savings account to where you're earning a lot of money on interest based on the money that you have in that savings account compared to other savings accounts out there. And from the research that I personally done and seen, the interest rate just seems to be climbing up every year that passes on, which is good for people like me and you. A few years ago, the SoFi savings account used to offer you an APY of a little over a 2% interest rate on your money. But nowadays, they're offering you up to a 4.6 APY on your money that you have in your savings account at the time of this recording, which has been the highest it's been in history. Now, if you compare this to most other banks and even credit unions, you're getting significantly way more money than a bank or a credit union combined would ever give you. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, but they have an absolutely amazing promotion going on right now to where you can earn all the way up to $325 when you open up a SoFi checking and savings account and then you set up a direct deposit with them. And to activate this offer, all you need to do is use my referral link in the description below, and then after that, you guys are set. But I'll get more into that a little later in this video. I personally think it's good to have multiple bank accounts, not just one, because you just never know what's going to happen with a bank one day. So I personally think it's best to be with one bank, at least one credit union, and then at least one online bank as well. I personally bank with Chase Bank, Navy Federal Credit Union, PenFed Credit Union, and now I bank with SoFi. I used to bank with a few other banks like Wells Fargo, US Bank, but they didn't really do too much for me, so I just decided to close my account with them. But if you guys want to know more about SoFi banking, then make sure you guys watch this video all the way to the end so that way you can be fully informed before you guys decide to start banking with them. If you're already subscribed, then welcome back. But if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Ismael Sandiford, and you are now watching Just Money, where we talk about financial related topics such as personal and business, credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So for those out there that do not know what SoFi Bank is, this is pretty much an online bank that provides you with quite a few financial services like mortgages, personal loans, credit cards, insurance, and a few other things as well. So the word SoFi actually stands for social finance, and this now bank originally started off as a student loan lender by a few graduates of Stanford University a little over a decade ago. But fast forward over 10 years later, they are now an actual bank that provides you with plenty of financial services. And this bank is popular for these three main reasons right here, I personally feel like. They're popular because of the personal loans that they offer, the 2% cashback rewards credit card that they have, but most importantly, they're popular because of the high yield savings account that they offer, which is in fact the reason why I now bank with them. That, and along with the no account fees that they have, which I'll talk about a little later in this video. But again, ladies and gentlemen, the thing that caught my eye about this SoFi bank is their high yield savings account that they have. So before I talk about anything else, let's talk about the interest rate on their checking and their savings account first. So at the time of this recording, if you have a checking account with SoFi, then you're going to be earning a 0.5% APY based on whatever money you have in that checking account. And SoFi is marketing this at 7 times more than what the national average checking account rate is. So this means you would earn way more money in 1 month versus the entire year if you have your money in the SoFi checking account as opposed to another typical bank out there. Now, if we look at their savings account on the other hand, and also really quick, let me just mention, whenever you start banking with SoFi, they will automatically open up a checking and a savings account for you. You can not only have one, you must have both a checking and a savings account, but again, they automatically do this for you once you start banking with them. But as far as the APY on their savings account and something else called vaults, which are pretty much individual savings account, which I'll talk about a little later in this video, if you have a direct deposit set up with them or you're depositing at least $5,000 or more into your account, then you qualify to have a 4.6 APY on your savings and your vaults at the time of this recording. So depending on the time that you're watching this video, the rates honestly may change. But one of the biggest reasons why SoFi has such a high APY on their savings account is because there are no physical branches anywhere. This now means they have more money and can give us a higher return based on the money we have in their checking and their savings account. But ladies and gentlemen, let me be the one to tell you, if you do not have a direct deposit set up with SoFi, or you're not at least making $5,000 deposits or more every month into your account, then you will only qualify for a 1.2% APY on your savings account and your vaults. So if you guys want that 4.6 APY on your savings account and your vaults, which I'm sure most of you do, then make sure you set up a direct deposit with them. Either that or make sure to deposit at least $5,000 or more into your account every month, but I think it's easier to just set up a direct deposit with them. But back to your SoFi checking account. If you were to have $20,000 in your SoFi checking account for an entire year, then you would make $100 or roughly $8 a month just for having that $20,000 in there. But if you were to have that same $20,000 into your SoFi savings account at all times for a year at a 4.6 APY, then you would receive $920 or roughly $75 a month. Now, this definitely beats a bank like Chase Bank because Chase Bank, ladies and gentlemen, they're only offering you a 0.01% APY. What is that? So if you were to take that same $20,000, ladies and gentlemen, and then just dump it into Chase Bank, then you would only make $2 a year or roughly 16 cents a month. What is that? That's why personally, I don't really keep my money in Chase Bank because it's just not beneficial for you in any way, shape, or form. Like, at least put your money into a credit union, at least. Honestly, the only thing I think is good about Chase Bank is their credit cards. Other than that, I personally don't think that this is a good bank to primarily be banking with. The main bank that I'm primarily banking with nowadays is Navy Federal Credit Union because these credit unions are more so for the people versus just making another dollar for themselves. Credit unions tend to be more relationship based, so the better relationship that you have with them, then the more they're willing to do for you as a consumer. And a quick example of that is getting high limit credit cards, getting a lower interest rate on your loans, and then actually getting approved for things. And honestly, Navy Federal Credit Union has just done so much for me, so that's why I chose to make them my primary bank. I have the highest checking account with Navy Federal, which is called the flagship checking account, and I actually made a full in-depth video on this, so if you guys want to watch that, then feel free to browse my YouTube channel or hit the link in the description below. But one of the most beautiful things about this flagship checking account is that it offers you a 0.45% APY based on the money you have in that checking account. Now, obviously, not as much as what SoFi is offering, but that's still pretty good compared to another regular bank like Chase Bank. Now, if we go back to the $20,000 example, if I were to have $20,000 in my flagship checking account at Navy Federal for an entire year, then I would be receiving roughly $90 a year or $7.50 a month. Now, obviously, this is way better than Chase Bank because, ladies and gentlemen, Chase Bank was only giving us $2 for the year, while Navy Federal, on the other hand, was giving us $90 for the year. And again, this is not better than SoFi, ladies and gentlemen, because they are giving us almost 10 times more for your money if you have your money in their savings account. And once I realized this, ladies and gentlemen, then I decided to make the switch fast. I usually tell people to set up a direct deposit with Navy Federal Credit Union so that way they can build a relationship with them, but for my situation personally, I already have too many products with them, and I've already been banking with them for quite a few years now. So I definitely already have a relationship established with this credit union. So with that being said, I decided to switch my direct deposit to SoFi. And by doing so, I even received a free $325 bonus just for having my money in there and setting a direct deposit up with them. So if you guys want to earn all the way up to a $325 bonus, then again, I'll leave my referral link in the description below so that way you guys do not miss out on that. SoFi is already giving you a free $300 as long as you meet the criteria, but if you use my referral code, then you'll receive an extra $25 on top of that. And how this works is if you use my referral link in the description below and you guys sign up and deposit $50 into your account within 14 days of opening the account, then you'll receive a free $25. Now, if you guys want a $50 bonus instead of a $25 bonus, then you would have to set up a direct deposit, and that direct deposit amount has to be anywhere from $1,000 to $4,999.99 in order to qualify. But if you guys have a direct deposit amount that equals $5,000 or more, then SoFi is going to give you the full bonus, which is $325. So if you guys are going to do this, I would recommend to do it sooner rather than later so that way you guys can qualify for it, and so that way you don't miss out on any free money. And by the way, after you guys set up a direct deposit, you'll receive your money within 7 business days after the 25-day evaluation ends. But as far as the free $25, as soon as you deposit a minimum of $50 into your SoFi account, then you'll receive that free $25 anywhere from 1 to 3 business days. And again, this is why I recommend you guys do it sooner rather than later, so that way you guys can just get your free money already. And as far as your money being safe with this bank, I will mention that they are FDIC insured all the way up to $250,000, just like most other banks out there. However, the good thing about SoFi is that they're actually FDIC insured all the way up to $2 million if you guys enroll in their insured deposit program. It used to be $1.5 million, but that number is now $2 million if you guys sign up and enroll in it. But regular without enrolling will always be all the way up to $250,000 FDIC insured. And really quick, if you guys are finding any of this information helpful, if you guys could do me a favor and hit the like button, I would truly appreciate it because it really helps me out a lot, and then it's also a dope way to help support the channel. I also want to say though, after you guys sign up for a checking and a savings account, you'll receive your debit card in the mail anywhere from 1 to 5 business days. This debit card is a MasterCard, and once it comes in the mail, you have to activate it using your SoFi app by scanning this code right here. It's a pretty nice looking card too, I'm not gonna lie. So this is definitely like a good card to have under my belt that I'm definitely hyped on. But you really can't go wrong banking with SoFi because there's not really any fees with them. SoFi will not charge you for any account fees, no minimum balance requirement fees, no overdraft fees, and then also no monthly fees as well. And if I haven't mentioned it already, if you have a direct deposit set up with SoFi of over $1,000 a month, if you ever overspend on accident, you'll be covered up to $50 with no fees. And if you don't feel like carrying this card anywhere, then you can definitely add this to your digital wallet, such as Apple Pay, Google Pay, or even Samsung Pay. And the thing this debit card actually does is round up your purchase to the nearest dollar, so that way you could transfer it to one of your vaults that you want it to be assigned to. And as promised earlier, I said we were going to talk about the SoFi vaults, so now let's go ahead and talk about them. SoFi vaults are pretty much other saving accounts that you can create within your savings account, so that way you can start saving for a specific item of your choice. If you would like to save up for a house one day, then you definitely can using one of their vaults. Or even if you want to save up for a new car car, or a vacation, they also have vaults for that too. So whatever the reason may be that you have a vault, you're going to be earning interest on it all the way up to 4.6% APY at the time of this recording if that's what you're currently getting on your savings account with SoFi. If you're only getting a 1.2% APY on your savings account because maybe you don't have a direct deposit set up or you just don't meet the criteria, then a 1.2% APY is what you're going to receive on your vault, just like your savings account. And ladies and gentlemen, you are allowed up to 20 vaults at a time, just so you know. This can definitely be a good strategy to use if you guys don't want to keep opening up other checking or savings accounts in order to separate your money for specific purposes. And again, whatever interest you're earning on your savings account, that's what you're going to receive on your vaults as well. Other benefits though about banking with SoFi is you can actually receive your direct deposit earlier if you already have your direct deposit set up. You'll also have access to over 55,000 ATMs nationwide within their network for easy cash withdrawals that'll charge you a $0 fee. All you have to do is find an ATM that's close to you within the very easy to use SoFi app. And speaking of the SoFi app, you'll be able to pay your bills on there, deposit checks, transfer money, track your spending, and even monitor your credit score just like most other banks out there. SoFi is really huge on having a direct deposit with them because really they just want your business. So if you have a direct deposit set up with them, then you're going to unlock premium perks at no cost. And a quick example of that is going to be the 4.6 APY that you're earning on your savings account. As I stated earlier, the $325 welcome bonus if you use my referral code in the description below. But you'll also get 2 reward points on qualifying activities within the SoFi app. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll also be able to receive your paycheck earlier along with no overdraft fees. You'll also be able to get a discounted rate with them if you were to ever receive a personal loan, and then much more. But as far as making deposits into your SoFi checking and savings account, then there's a few ways you can do this. You can do electronic bank transfers from a linked bank account, set up a direct deposit, deposit a mobile check, or even make cash deposits at over 90,000 retailers like Walgreens, CVS, and even 7-Eleven. But now as far as withdrawing your money, you can do free ATM withdrawals, electronic bank transfers, physical checks, peer-to-peer transfers, or even online bill paying. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over a few different pros and cons about SoFi and banking, starting with the cons, and then I'll give my final thoughts about this bank. So the first con is that you absolutely need a checking and a savings account in order to start banking with them. You cannot only have one. The next con is that you only qualify for their highest interest rate on their savings account and their vaults, which is a 4.6 APY if you have a direct deposit set up with them or if you're at least depositing at least $5,000 a month. The next con is if you ever want to deposit cash at an ATM, then it's going to be a $5 fee in order to do so. And on top of that, you're going to be doing this at places like CVS, Walgreens, or even 7-Eleven. So personally for me, I really don't feel comfortable walking in with a wad of cash into any of those places. So if it were up to me personally, I would just deposit my money in my other banks and then just transfer it from my other banks to my SoFi account. So that's kind of honestly how you would get around that. Because not only is it a little sketchy for me to do cash deposits, but with those cash deposits, you're only allowed to do up to 2 a day. And each max deposit a day will be $500. So this means you can only deposit $1,000 in cash a day. And they also have a limit for the week and a limit for the month as well. You're limited on cash deposits up to $3,000 a week or $5,000 a month. So again, to get around this, I would just recommend to deposit the money into another bank and then just transfer it so that way you can get around all this silliness. But another con is you can only withdraw $1,000 a day at an ATM, which kind of sucks, not gonna lie. And on top, your debit usage will only be allowed up to $6,000 a day. But I feel like the reason why they actually do that is just to make sure you're protected. But this means you will not be able to swipe your SoFi debit card if you already passed $6,000 spent for the day. Now this may or may not be a big deal for some people because I know there's people like myself that bank with other banks, so this is really not a big deal to be honest. And then on top, I use my credit cards to pay for everything either way. I never really use a debit card because I'm not really collecting any reward points from using a debit card, so this kind of doesn't matter for me. Because for real, you're really only supposed to use your credit card for purchases, not really a debit card, but that's a whole nother video that I'm not going to dive into right now. But anyways, let's talk about the pros of SoFi now. So the biggest thing about SoFi is that they have really good interest rates, which is why I now bank with them. A buddy of mine named Eric actually told me about the APY that they have on their savings account, and that's honestly what intrigued me to start banking with them. So now we're here, Eric. Another pro though about SoFi is the no account fees and the $325 that you can potentially earn when using my referral code in the description below. So not only am I getting a higher return based on the money that I have in my SoFi savings account, but they're also starting me off with an extra $325 for doing so I definitely had to take advantage of that. Another pro though about SoFi is that they're FDIC insured all the way up to $250,000 or $2 million if you guys are enrolled in their program, which is really crazy and unheard of. And another pro is that you have access to 55,000 free ATMs nationwide, and then you have the ability to receive your paycheck up to 2 days earlier. And also, not to mention, you have access to benefits like the mobile app, overdraft protection, credit score monitoring, be able to track your spending, and stuff of that nature. Honestly, guys, I think SoFi should be in your list of banks that you bank with because you honestly can't go wrong with it. Like I said earlier in this video, it's good to be banking with at least one bank, one credit union, and then one online bank, so that way you can be versatile if anything happens and you always have options. But for me personally, personally, I'm definitely going to keep my money in my SoFi savings account so that way I can earn passive income based on the money that I have and have my money work for me. Because best believe if I have to work, then my money definitely has to work too. But anyways, if you guys are going to start banking with SoFi, don't forget to use my referral code so that way you guys collect all of your free money. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about SoFi? I would love to know. And really quick, for those that don't know, I do offer one-on-one consultations. The link will always be in the description below. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, we are at 38,157 subscribers at the time of this recording, so I do appreciate all who watch. I do post weekly videos for those that don't know. And if you guys haven't yet already, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't yet already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way you guys get notified every time I post a new video. And again, we talk about personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you guys are into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. We talk about how to get high limits on your guys' credit cards, talk about how to boost your personal credit, how to obtain business credit. We talk about real estate, we talk about mortgage loan programs, we talk about all that. We even do street interviews as well. So this is your one-stop shop. And really quick, for those that don't know, I'm a licensed real estate agent, a realtor, and I'm also a licensed mortgage loan originator as well. So if you guys have any questions or concerns in regards to real estate, all my information will always be in the description below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.